G'day, my name's Simon. I'm a regular guy who grew up in the UK and I've lived in Australia for just over 10 years now. I just want to share a quick story with you about my time here in Australia. Specifically, my story is about what has happened to my family and my beautiful Australian born and bred daughter who isn't old enough to tell her own story yet. As I said, I consider myself a regular guy. I grew up watching the cricket, footy, drinking, going out with my mates, with a little bit of practicing how to make babies in between. Anyway, in 2009 I had a beautiful baby daughter with my wife. It was quite a shock because we weren't planning on starting a family. Fast forward to now, and my daughter is 4 years old, and sadly I see her for less than 2 months a year. This is because my relationship with her mother ended, and like 750,000 other Australian children and their fathers, this means me and my daughter will no longer have a meaningful relationship too. No longer having my daughter around has turned my life upside down. And the fact that there are 750,000 other Australian children who hardly see their families means whatever happened to my family happens a lot. In fact, in Australia, 2 out of 3 fathers whose relationship ends with the mother don't have meaningful relationships with their children. So does that mean 2 out of 3 fathers like me have done something to justify not being with our kids? Or does it mean 2 out of 3 dads don't want to be a father to their children? Undoubtedly I've made mistakes and would have done things differently with both my relationship and raising my daughter. But no matter how much I beat myself up, there is still no way me, my friends or family, or anyone who knows us can say I did anything at all to justify me and my daughter being forced apart. The only thing I didn't consider at the time was if I'd had a cape and mask on. Would everything be better now?
Superdad will always have his family by his side. After doing 100 push-ups with his children on his back while sweeping the floor and putting the rubbish out, he cooks beef bourguignon with souffle of lightly steamed duck balls for dessert. He's so super he's even got his own theme tune. Some say Superdad moonlights as Father Christmas, and others say he whooped Chuck Norris with just one flick to the earlobe. One thing is for sure, he really is super. We also know that Mrs. Superdad is one happy lady. After the kids are fast asleep, Superdad still has the energy for a long night of pleasure giving. That's right, according to Superdad, men in tights make the best lovers.
Do our children really need superdads and supermums just so they can have meaningful relationships with both their parents? From my personal experiences, I think that everyday fathers generally don't have the same natural skill sets as mothers when it comes to raising kids. But there are a hell of a lot of dads out there still trying to be their best to be good fathers. Sure, we bugger it up sometimes, possibly more than we should. But why does that mean our children don't have us in their lives? After all, we can't be super dads all the time. And to be honest, I don't think we want to be. So instead of taking us out of our children's lives, exposing them to a host of unnecessary risks and harm, why not help us? Our children deserve proper relationships with their parents. 750,000 Australian children deserve it. And there are hundreds of thousands of other children around the world growing up without their other parent when they're capable and desperate of doing so. So please support our children's rights to meaningful relationships with both their parents by attending the March for the Voice of the Children in Sydney CBD on Father's Day, Sunday 1st of September 2013. Let's make Australia a better place for children to grow up and a fairer place for fathers and their families.